Professor, the other thing that we have done, aside from trying to reform a system that doesn't want to be reformed, is we've put a lot of the onus on the victims themselves, right? There's been a lot of talk about the talk, the conversation that parents have to have with their young black children or brown children about how to behave when the police stop you. And what is so chilling about this video is you hear Tyre Nichols in a very calm voice. I'm just trying to get home. You guys are doing a lot right now. The police are acting in fury. And here is someone who is running the playbook that any parent would have their child run, which is stay calm, don't be antagonistic, don't be aggressive, do what they say. And he died anyway.
There's nothing about the talk that could save my son if he runs into a cop who's having a bad day. There's nothing that could save him. There's nothing he could do that could turn that cop down, just like we saw it with Tyre. I mean, he even spoke calmly. Okay, I'm on the ground. And what we heard in response to that, I want to just say something that echoes something that Rashad said, and I want to put it in a phrase. Diversifying evil doesn't change the meaning of the noun. Diversifying evil doesn't change the meaning of the noun. You could put black faces in these institutions that are fundamentally corrupt at their core. It doesn't change the fundamental nature of the institution. This is what Baldwin was writing about in the evidence of things not seen in 1987. When he was trying to come to terms with all these poor black babies being killed in Atlanta with a black mayor and a black chief of police and the city too busy to hate. Right? So you're right. There's nothing I can do as a parent to protect my child from organized state violence in that way. And don't put it on me. Don't put it on us, right, in some sense. But we have to name it for what it is. I'm sorry. We have to name it for what it is.
I just want to say, you know, we're going to talk a lot about the police, but I want to remind everybody that this was a 29-year-old man who loved skateboarding, and he loved sunsets, and he was goofy, and he loved his mother. And we should not forget his humanity as we talk about the ways in which state-sponsored violence has denied him his life.